People are really curious about that. So what's your current stack? What are the tools you use? What's your DAW? What's the audio interface? What are the mics?
So I use Pro Tools
Pro Tools
for the most part, but I also use Logic and Ableton. I've got all those.
So you're mostly on a Mac?
I'm only on a Mac.
Only on a Mac.
Only on a Mac.
I'm only the opposite.
Although we have multiple PCs because my kids use PCs.
Yeah, just to rebel.
They do it for gaming. They like to game.
Right, that's true. But like in terms of editing, I hate how good Mac is.
So good
at just integrating the hardware and the software just work well together. Both on
if I didn't have a Mac, honestly, I wouldn't be talking to you right now because I got a G3. So the only good thing that a major label did for me is when my band was on UMG and they bought me a G3 and an SM7 and Pro Tools Digio 01, the first prosumer Pro Tools thing. And I learned how to use Pro Tools, and that allowed me to learn how to edit video and become a record producer. So I got to give it to Max for that.
So Pro Tools, I mean, that's still the standard.
That's kind of the industry standard, yeah.
I got to ask you, because I know I've never used Pro Tools. I've used, again, I'm a caveman. I've used Reaper. I've used Studio One. That's recently I've used that. And for the most time, I've used Ableton Live. I feel like I'm using 1% of the power of the tool.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ableton Live makes me feel like I'm literally just pressing the record button.
Ableton's amazing. It really is.
It is.
Yeah.
But I feel like that, I mean, it's designed for people that are doing like all kinds of meaty stuff and like looping and the what is it, the push buttons with the beats and I mean, I sound really out of touch, but it's just the power is incredible. Also, I think it's not just for recording, it's also for live performances.
Yes.
So this is why Studio One has been a little bit nicer for me, because it's simpler, made for recording more so.
Any DAW that you get used to, Lex, that's
just use anything.
Using it, yeah. And
yeah,
you have to become a master at the things. If you want to be a recording engineer or producer, you become an expert. A lot of Phineas and Billie Eilish, I think that they use Logic. That's their DAW that they like to use. And Logic, a lot of pros use Logic. I fire up Logic every couple of days and I use it for things. I have it on my laptop here, and I have Pro Tools and Logic on my laptop. I use both. I use Pro Tools mostly, though.
But Pro Tools, that's where you feel like at home.
Yeah. I'm an expert in Pro Tools.
Are you using any emulation, any amp sims, or it's all real amps?
No, I use amp sims. On my laptop here, when I travel and things like that, I use Neural DSP, which I just did a video at their headquarters in Helsinki. Mm-hmm. And the CEO, Doug Castro, is a friend of mine. I actually talked to him today, as a matter of fact. And I have a Kemper amp sim, modeler. I have an Axe-FX. I've got a Helix. I pretty much have all these things. But for me, I have 100 amps in my studio. And I have mics set up all the time on cabinets and stuff. I have 100 amplifiers, real amplifiers.
Real?
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, 100?
I have 100, yeah. About 100, maybe 95.
How does one get to that level?
Collecting and I'll be 64 in April, so
you just don't let go.
I don't let go. No.
Why would you get to 100? Like, is it tone difference?
Yes. So everything does one thing really well.
Uh-huh.
And so it'd be like, okay, so I have this Marshall JCM 800 that's modded that does this one thing. It's got great mids and it's good for this kind of a tune. So I will pull that out. Then it's like, no, I need more of like a scooped metal tune sound that's more like Metallica or Dream Theater or something. So I'm going to pull out my Mesa Boogie, or I need something that's chimey, that's more like Brian May or like The Edge. I'm going to pull out my Vox AC30. So everything, and that's why I have so many amps, because they all do. Every amp I have does one thing really well. If it doesn't do it well, I get rid of it. and I'm down to 100.
Down to 100. It's only 100.
Yeah. But I can get by with probably 75.
Come on. But then you're really running the risk of not having just the right amp.